Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. I am Professor Korada Subramaniam. I have learnt Vedas, Vedangas, Darshanas, etc. in both Oriental and Occidental methods. Now I am going to do some videos for the benefit of common people who did not or cannot study all these uh, works or books related to Sanatana Dharma, and many people have got some doubts. I would like to clarify such doubts by quoting from our texts that are related to Sanatana Dharma. So here the first question will be, who is a Brahmana? Is everyone a Brahmana by birth is the first question. So if you take the Panini Sutram, Brahmo Jatau, there it is clearly stated, the son of a Brahmana and Brahmani, that means the one born to a Brahmana couple, where both wife and husband are Brahmanas, he is called a Brahmana. This is the general definition. Then Patanjali in Mahabhashyam, under Tenatulyam Kriyache Dvatihi Vanasotram, gives a definition of a Brahmana. Tapashrutancha yonischa etad Brahmana lakarakam tapashrutabhyam yo henaha jati Brahmana eva saha. The one who is born to a Brahmana couple, who learnt Veda, Vedanga, etc., and who practices the vratas like Chandrayana or Krucha, Atekrucha, etc., is a Brahmana. The one who is without tapas and vrata, but born to a Brahmana couple, is just a Jati Brahmana. That means by Jati he is a Brahmana, which suggests that by karma he is not a Brahmana, but Brahmana only by Jati. So some people quote the following verse from Skanda Puranam. Janmana jayate Shudraha, Karmana jayate Dvijaha, Veda Pathantu Vipranam, Brahmajnanantu Brahmana. So here often the verse is misinterpreted due to lack of training in ancient Shastras which are related to Sanatana Dharma. The meaning of this verse is, by birth one is born as a Shodra. What does it mean? How can a person born to a Brahmana couple become a Shodra? Here Shodra is not the actual Shodra, that is the primary meaning is not to be taken, but the Lakshyartha or the secondary meaning is to be taken. That means by birth one who is born to a Brahmana couple is not eligible to perform any karmas. So the secondary meaning has to be taken. Okay, but after Upanayinam only he will become eligible to perform any karmas like Sandhya Vandanam, Agnikaryam, Vedadhyanam, etc. So by Janma one does not have the qualifications to perform any karmas. Therefore he is called Janmana Jayate Shudraha. That is the meaning. Here Shudraha means not eligible to perform any karmas that are ordained by Veda and Shastras. Okay, next. Karmana Jayate Dvijaha. Dvija means, Dvi means two, Ja means born, two births. Here these Brahmanas are called Dvija because first their birth will be there to a Brahmana couple. Second one is, during Upanayinam, Acharya will be the father and Gayatri will be the mother. Like that it is considered as a second birth. So Dvija he is called, who has got two births. So Karmana, by the Upanayana karma, he becomes Dvija. That means he becomes eligible to perform the karmas. That is the meaning. Here karma means the first karma, that is Upanayana karma only. Next, Veda Pathantu Vipranam. He will become a Vipra by Veda Patha. Okay, one has to undergo the karma called Upakarma after Upanayanam, and then he has to start a study of Veda. That is mandatory. So by learning Veda, he is called Vipra. Then this is clearly stated in Manusmriti that during Upanayana Karma, Acharya is considered as father and Gayatri is considered as mother. Okay, then through learning Veda he becomes Vipra, and due to Brahmajnanam he becomes Brahmana. That means a Brahmana is one who has got a Brahmajnanam. What is this Brahmajnanam? It takes a lot of time to make it understandable, but generally Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma is there in Upanishads. So everything is nothing but either directly or indirectly a form of Brahman itself. Brahman is the very cause of the universe. You can take anything like a cell phone or a table or any thing on earth, and it has come either directly or indirectly from earth and other elements. So here from Brahman only the earth, fire, etc. had emanated, and so Brahman is either directly or indirectly is the cause of the universe. And the one who thinks, who attains the cognition, jnanam of Aham Brahmasmi, I am not different from Brahman. That person who attains this jnanam is called a Brahmana. This is the actual explanation. Then more details can be had from Koradiyam. There are a number of postings from Bharatiya Vidyat Parishad and all that. Many issues are discussed there. Now, this second question: why some people or women not allowed to chant Vedic hymns? They are not allowed to study or learn Veda. Why? Actually, what happens is Krishna Yajurveda, Taittiriya Upanishad is there. Their second prashna is there called Swadhyaya Brahmanam. There it is clearly stated about this Vedadhyanam. It talks about Yajnopaveta Dharana, Sandhyavandanam, etc. Many things, Dana, etc. Many things. There it is clearly stated Yajnopavitye Vadhiyita Yajayetava. This is clearly stated that if the one with Yajnopavetam only will be eligible to learn Veda and also to supervise any yaga or other karmas or perform the karmas. So Yajnopavetam is the very having Yajnopavetam is the very qualification to become eligible to learn Veda or to teach Veda and perform karmas and all that, so forth, so on. Okay, so but long ago there used to be study of Vedas by even Purakalpeshu Narinam Maunji Bandhanamishyate Adhyapanancha Vedanam Savitri Vajanam Tatha. So long ago, during earlier kalpas, some yogas make a kalpa. During those kalpas, even ladies were having Yajnopavetam, they were teaching Veda, and they were performing Gayatri Japa, etc. But in this Kalpa, especially in this Yuga, it is restricted that ladies also cannot recite, learn or recite Veda, but others, other than those who have Yajnopaveta, okay, others can learn these things by the study of Bharatam, Ramayanam, Puranas, Itihasas, Puranas, etc. So the same Upadesha or the same instruction that is there which is there in Vedas is there in Bharatam, Ramayanam, Puranas, and so on and so forth. So, Bharata Panchamo Vedaha, it is called the fifth Veda. And Veda Prachayatasa Dasit Sakshad Ramayanatmana. From Prachayatasa, an Itihasa called Ramayana has come out, has emanated, which is nothing but a Veda itself. So, in Bhagavatam, it is clearly stated these works are meant for those who are not eligible or who cannot learn Veda, etc. So, one more thing is, although one learns Veda, it is very difficult to understand the text without the help of Vedangas. So, Vedangas, that means 6 limbs of Veda Purusha are there. Shiksha, Vyakaranam, Chandas, Niruktam, Jyotisham, and Kalpa. And besides the knowledge of these 6 Vedangas, one has to study Mimamsa or Vakya Shastram, and there too it is of 2 types, Purvamimamsa and Uttaramimamsa or Vedanta. Purvamimamsa deals with the Purva Bhaga of Vedas, which deal with karma, generally most of them are yagas, and the Uttaramimamsa or Vedanta deals with Jnanam. Vedanta is nothing but end of Veda, that is Upanishads. So earlier part of Veda deals with karma, later part of Veda deals with Jnanam. So there is the bifurcation like Purvamimamsa and Uttaramimamsa. So without the knowledge of Vedangas, Darshanas and other works, it is very difficult to understand Veda. So, although one studied Veda, most of the scholars, 99% Vedic scholars do not know the meaning because they did not learn Vedangas and Darshanas. This is clearly stated by Patanjali under Tadadhite Tadveda, one Panini Sutram, where he says, Kaschit Sampatham Patati. Whoever learns will know the meaning. Then Patanjali says, Naitayor avashyakas samaveshaha. No, not like that. Kaschit sampatham patati. Someone is just reciting the original text of Veda. That means he does not know the meaning. Something like that. So, these are the general niyamas. Therefore, everybody is not allowed to learn or recite Veda. That is the general answer, but not out of any hatred or anything the like. Because Maharshis are said to be Pratyaksha Dharmanaha. They can realize Dharma, they know, they can perceive Dharma. And it is not possible for everybody. So whatever is prescribed by Maharshis has to be followed because they don't want any kind of benefit, any labha from anybody or from any karma. So, patent rights, etc. Nowadays, some people may go for patent rights, they will get some money, something like that. But these Maharshis do not want anything like that. Therefore, this is clearly stated in Mahabhashyam of Patanjali, that is written in Vyakaranam, as well as in Niruktam also. Pratyaksha Dharmanaha Rishayaha Babhubuhu, something like that. So this is the actual situation why everybody cannot study Veda. That is the second question. There is the third question. Who is a Suvasini in the context of women being invited for Vratam? The term Suvasini is prevalent in Telugu states mostly. And if you go to Amarakosha, it says, I learned Amarakosha at the age of 5. Amarakosha should be on the tip of the tongue. Koshavan Acharyaha. The one who has got at least one kosha on the tip of the tongue is fit to be called an Acharya. Amarakosha says, Charanti tu Suvasini. Charanti or Suvasini means a girl who is not married. Okay, and Dharmasindhu prescribes Kumari Puja. But in Telugu states, a lady who has got her husband alive and has got kunkuma, pasupu or turmeric bangles and Mangalasutram, okay, is called a Suvasini, and the same lady is eligible to receive puja and tambolam. So for vratas, the ladies with all these 5 things are invited by calling them Suvasini or Suvasini puja. That is the third question. That fourth question, why certain people are not invited to attend certain functions like Upanayinam? Upanayinam is a different function. What happens is, for marriage you can invite any person, any friend or relative or anybody, and just offer him whatever you want to. But here Upanayinam is different from other karmas. Okay, Upanayinam is meant for Brahmopadesha. Brahma means here Gayatri. Gayatri mantra Upadesha is done during Upanayinam. And for this, everybody cannot be invited by. And the Vatu or Brahmachari approaches the Dampati couple saying, Bhavate Bhiksham Dehi, Bhavan Bhikshan Dadatu, like that. So the couple offering bhiksha should be near and dear, not everybody. Also, he offers namaskara with gotra and pravara, chatusagara paryantam go brahmanebhya shubham bhavatu, vasishtha maitra varna, like that, aham bho abhivadaye, he says to gents. And namaskara means I am inferior to you and you are superior to me. So the one who is there, who attended the function, should be eligible to receive that namaskara. And also the person who receives this namaskara is supposed to offer, nowadays the Purohitas are helping them, is supposed to offer a Pratyabhivada or Ashirvada, we may call it, Ayushmane Brahmanya Sharman, like that. Pratyabhivade Shudre, some Panini Sutram is there. So the Panini Sutram says, when you are offering Pratyabhivada to a brahmachari or anyone for that matter who offers you the namaskara in the traditional manner, that is with gotra and pravara, you should use plota. Plota is pronouncing an H with 3 matras, Sharman, like that. So the one who knows, in fact, to how to offer a Pratyabhivada should be invited to this. But since time has gone, those times have gone, people are not learning the Sampradaya, that is the Sanatana Dharma. Although it is their Dharma, they are not actually learning for some reason or the other, whatever it may be. The Purohita has to tell him. In most of the cases, even the Purohita doesn't know because he did not learn Vyakaranam, like that. So whatever it is, we cannot go on dwelling into such issues. But for Upanayinam, everybody cannot be invited. Next, the 5th question will be eating food outside when home cooked food is not available. Okay, so here what happens actually, recently in a country called Namibia, the government passed an ordinance rather, that those people can kill the animals and just have it, the meat as the food, because there was a drought and cereals were not there. People did not have anything to eat. So actually this is already foreseen by our rishis, and they have given certain examples as to what to eat and how to eat, what certain rishis had done some time ago. Generally speaking, in Punyaha Vachana mantras, we have one mantra, Shuchir Vipra, Shuchih Kavihi, Shuchirojata Ahutaha, etc. So Vipra, a Brahmana who learnt Veda, is Shuchi always. He cannot become Ashuchi. So that is not simply becoming Ashuchi by eating something. That's why in Sandhyavandanam we say the mantra Yadratriyat Kurute Papan Tadratriyat Pratimuchyate Yadanhat Kurute Papan Tadanhat Pratimuchyate because what happens is not only killing some chick or goat and consuming the mamsa is papa, but even plucking leaves, fruits, etc., and cutting the vegetables and consuming them is also papa. There is papa through by cutting these and plucking and cutting of vegetables also. That's why in Kumara Sambhava we come across an incident where Parvati was given the name Aparna. That means even leaves she was not plucking. Whichever leaves or fruits fall when ripe, they fall on the floor, those things only she was consuming. So, that does not mean that all those who are consuming vegetables are performing punya, and those who are consuming meat, non-vegetarian, are sinners. No, not like that. It should not be taken. That is not the actual meaning. Okay, so now Manusmriti in 10th Adhyaya clearly says, Sarvatah pratigruhniyat ब्राह्मणस्तनयङ्गतः पवित्रं दुष्यति चेतत् धर्मतो नोपपद्यते. No, a Brahmana should actually, in a difficult situation, when he doesn't have anything to eat, he can receive pratigraha from any person because he is pavitra by nature, and he becomes becoming apavitra by something. Apavitra is not possible from the point of view of dharma. What he means is, generally a Brahmana is supposed to perform 6 karmas that are prescribed in Manusmriti. Okay, and there Adhyayanam, Adhyapanam, reciting Veda, teaching Veda, the Danam and Pratigraha, offering donation and also receiving donation. Okay, then the Adhyayanam, Adhyapanam, Danam, Pratigraha, and performing yajna and supervising yajna as a Purohita. These are 6 dharmas of a Brahmana. Here, most of the people after a certain age, they stop receiving anything from anybody. That means Pratigraha is not accepted, because along with Pratigraha, Dakshinanam Brahmanena Brahmanasya Chandobhishchandasang Apahatapapma. This is clearly stated in Swadhyaya Brahmanam, or the 2nd chapter of Taittiriya Aranyakam, that if one is receiving anything in the form of dana, then he would receive the certain papa karmas of that person, that donor also, and through Vedadhyayanam he has to get rid of the papas. That is what is clearly stated. Therefore, Pratigraha is actually not accepted by many people. Now Manusmriti says, when there is any problem, okay, for food, etc., one can receive Pratigraha from any person, and that will not make the Vipra, the Brahmana who is so pavitra due to Vedadhyayanam and following dharma and all that, he cannot become apavitra. This is not the thing. Dharmataha nopapadyate. Okay, in view of dharma, from the point of view of dharma, receiving some pratigraha and consuming when nothing is available for consumption, that is the meaning of the verse. A Brahmana, just like Agni, fire, and Tirthajalam, water of a holy river, is pavitra. So, no impurity can touch him by teaching an unqualified person and performing a rite, that is ritual, by an unqualified person, or receiving something, pratigraha, from a cursed a person, an unqualified person. So here, accused person. So it is clearly stated, Adhyapanat yajanadva garhitadva pratigrahat dosho bhavati vipranam jananam busamahite. So there will not be any dosha or sin because they are on a par with Agni and Tirtha Jala, which are pavitra. And in Bhavabhuti, a great poet, a predecessor of Kalidasa, in a drama that is called Uttara Ramacharitam. In first Anka he says, Utpatti paripodayah kimasyah pavanantaraihi tirthodakancha vanhischa nanyata shuddhimarhataha. This actually reflects the above said Manusmriti. So, Sita is to be purified. No, why Sita should be purified? Okay, see, Tirthodakancha Vanhischa, she by birth, by Utpatti, by birth itself, she is Pavitra. And no other thing or stuff is required to purify Sita, because she is as good as Vanhi, that is fire, and Tirthodakam, waters of any holy river. So Tirthodakancha Vanhischa Nanyata Shuddhimarhataha. Tirthodakam and Vanhi are used to purify something, and they do not require anything for purification. That is the actual meaning. So, and also Manu says in 10th Adhyaya itself, Jivitatyayamapannaha yonnamatti yatastataha akashamiva pankena nasapapena lipyate. This is very important. Jivitatyayam apannaha achayo dhvansaha. When somebody is about to die, and when he receives annam or any food, yatastataha, some place or the other, irrespective of the eligibility or qualification of the donor. That is what is meant. So, Akashameva Pankena, this Akasha is not actually touched by Panka, that is mud. It is not smeared. Sky is not smeared with mud. Similarly, no sin will be there for the person who is about to die, because somehow or the other, Shariramadhyam khalu dharma sadhanam, somehow or the other, one should protect his body, otherwise he cannot perform any dharma. So when a Brahmana is in danger to life and eats food from some source or the other, there, just like the sky is not smeared with by mud, he is not smeared by sin. So some sages were ready to commit heinous crime to kill their hunger, but were not smeared by sin. Ajigartaha sutam hantum upasat padbubhukshitaha nacha lipyata papena kshutratikaramasharan. This is again same source, Manusmriti 10th Adhyaya. So Ajigarta, a Maharshi, actually approached and tried to kill his son because he was hungry. But still he was not touched, he was not smeared by any papa due to performing some pratikara, to this hunger. So he wanted to kill his hunger, so he approached, he went ahead to kill his son. He did not receive any papa. So he was a sage. Like that, Kshudhartascha attumabhyagat Vishwamitraha Shvajaghanim Chandalahastat Adaya Dharma Dharma Vichakshanaha. Vishwamitra was actually, he was such a great rishi that he could distinguish between dharma and adharma. Such a Vishwamitra who was hungry, who went to eat the meat of a dog's thigh from a Chandala. This is what had happened. So Maharshis also did such things, and one does not get any papa by doing such things. Another verse is there, Swagrame purnamacharam anyagrame tadaddhakam pattane padamacharam patishodravadacharet. As far as the achara, the behavior, general behavior is considered, the rule is that in your own village, you have to follow 100% achara. When you go to some other place, some other village or so, then half of the achara you can perform. Pattane padamacharam. In a city, it is difficult to perform all this achara, so 1/4 of the achara you can follow. Patishodravadacharet. On the marga, when you are traveling by bus, train, etc., then just like a Shudra who doesn't mind of this achara, Okay, you can follow a Shodra like that. So, Vasishtha Smriti says, Acharahinam napunante vedah yadyapyadhita sahashadbhirangaihi. Vasishtha Smriti 6th Adhyaya says, even Vedas cannot purify a person without Achara. Even if he studied 6 angas, Shiksha, Vyakaranam, Chandas, Niruktan, Jyotishan, Kalpa, all the angas, and along with Veda, he learned those things that means Veda along with Vedangas also cannot purify one who is without Achara. Iti Tatsayom Tatsat.